All righty, everybody. Welcome into the high noon stream. Look at me. No, this isn't the high noon stream. The high noon stream comes on, well, at high noon every Monday through Friday. That's something that I do right here. It's all about current events. It's all about hot topics. It's all about all the things that you need to know in the world. We do that show, high noon, every Monday through Friday, noon till, well, just about whenever we're done. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. Hi, John. John's here. Yo, 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 says Jeff. We got both Jeff. We got Full Metal Jeff right now operating inside the chat room. Come join us in the chat room. And what would you be joining us for? Well, you're joining us for this one. We call this one Pillow Talk because it features not only myself, because I can't do it alone. I got to go to the pen. I got to pull in the big reliever, the 6'3" fireballing left-hander out of, I almost said Lubbock. Ladies and gentlemen, James Parker.
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. How are you?
I have a weird echo. Is that what's going on?
Do you have a weird echo?
No, it went away. I just heard it on that first little.
Can't be high noon show. Oh, look at Jeff being a smartass. Look at Jeff being a smartass. You know what? You just sit there tomorrow. It will be a 15 after start. That's right. You manifested that reality. Jeff is upset because sometimes the high noon show starts a little bit late. What can you do, man? We are the slave to the breaking news. If something is popping off, right? I'm a professional. I got to be prepared. I got to watch the story. That might mean we start at 12:05 or 12:15.
We're on time for this, though, right?
Yeah, 2 minutes late. That's fine. That's fine. And, people are like, why do they make demands of us doing the stream that they don't make of anybody else? If you go to a movie theater and the movie starts at 8 o'clock, no movie has ever started at the time that it says it's supposed to start. It'll start at like 8:10 or something.
You got to have 27 minutes of previews and commercials before that.
Mm-hmm. You go to a concert. The concert starts at 8:30. They don't come on until 45 minutes later, right? It's like this. Oh, my God. You got to wait 5 minutes. What you drinking there, James? What are you drinking? What are you sipping on?
This is a Dr. Pepper Zero with Canadian whiskey.
Oh, you got a little bit. Oh, you're doing a little bit of whiskey? All right, I'm going to do a little bit of whiskey, too. Look what I got. Look what I got.
Well, now you can do it. It's not because I had it.
What's that?
Oh, cool. What's
Look
that
at
called?
this.
Black whiskey?
This is the title sponsor for the Mansplaining Show.
Well, that's racist.
And why?
I'm just being absurd.
So, why's it got to be black? Is that what you're saying? Well, it's got to be black because it's made from Andean black corn, which is an ancient grain grown on the mountainsides in Peru. This is the world's first Peruvian whiskey, black whiskey. Now, let me tell you a little story about this, James, because I'm going to pour me a glass here.
Dude, I heard you talking about this on the weekend show, and let me tell you, I've taken the half step to the black corn. There's some distillery out of Waco that makes whiskey out of blue corn, and I like the direction that's going, and I imagine this is just further down that trail, and so I'm totally in on this.
Well, see, look, there's a lot of, I got to be honest, when they came to us and they said, hey, we got a title sponsor for the rollout of Mansplaining. The rollout of Mansplaining, we got big plans for Mansplaining, okay? So when we say the rollout, and luckily I've got somebody who's doing the sales on this, this was suggested to us as the title sponsor. Now, we live in an era, James, where every one-hit wonder hip-hop star has a vodka. Every Instagrammer has, some kind of a new tequila that they're marketing. We are lousy with these boutique brands, right? So a little bit of my concern was, okay, what are we going to get wrapped up? Like nothing, some second-tier loser whiskey that I'm going to have to tie myself to. That was my fear. I'll be honest with you. My fear was, and you're watching The Sopranos now, correct? Or are you done?
Oh, no, I'm still in season 5, episode 4.
Okay, so you're good. So my fear was that this was going to be, have you gotten to the Artie Bucco Almagnac?
I have not. Oh, okay, cool. Now I got something to look forward to.
Okay. Artie Bucco gets roped into becoming the North American distributor of a new drink called Almagnac, and it's sold to him by a con man. It's like telling him that it's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. I saw the beginnings of this storyline. I but it just began. Okay.
So I had a little Almagnac fear, right? I was a little bit worried that, okay, what is this? Another Almagnac? What
See,
is
this is one of the things that makes Sopranos funny, because I know this is not going to be the liquor of the future, because it's 20 years into the future, right? So this was just a total scam, right?
Yeah.
But
you know, Artie is a character in The Sopranos, who feels like maybe he missed the boat in life, that, you know, he's not happy that he decided to be a chef. He sees all of his buddies are big mobsters and running their own crews. And, you know, he's a little bit, maybe he's feeling like he's unworthy of the fabulous Charmaine Bucco. Charmaine Bucco, Artie's wife, is hot. She's the hottest of the wives. I like Charmaine. So anyway, I was a little bit worried about that. And then my concerns about this black whiskey coming on being a sponsor, and by the way, not available. Can't get it right now. You got to order it. You gotta go. Actually, I don't even know if I could go order it. Maybe there's a couple of bottles here in North Texas at liquor stores. I'd call before you go, but I'd ask. I know there were a couple of specs that have it, but my concerns about the product were quelled after seeing an article in Forbes about it just a couple of weeks ago. The New York Wine and Spirits Competition, which is the big contest to determine the best rum in the world, the best vodka in the world, the best gin in the world, the best bottle of wine in the world, and the best whiskey in the world. That was held in New York City. And black whiskey won Best in Show. Best in Show. The judge at the New York Wine and Spirits Competition, the best whiskey in the world. Now, hold on. That was just a story 2 weeks ago. I come to find out a new story has posted. Let me share this one with you. This is the new story that was just posted about the New York Wine and Spirits Competition. Here, let me read you a little bit about this, and I'm going to sample it, if you don't mind. Here, well, just so you don't think that I'm making this up. This is like a legit thing. All right, so look at this. So this is Forbes, right? You can see that we're looking at Forbes magazine, and
so
this was posted.
The world's best whiskey in your left hand right now.
Yeah, the world's best whiskey, according to the 2022 New York World Spirits Competition. Now, let me read you this article. I won't read the whole article is about this whiskey. This whiskey that I have somehow dick-tripped into being associated with. And I'm like, wait, so it's not a terrible whiskey? And by the way, I've already had it. It's quite good. And Schwartz, who's a very whiskey type guy, he's like, no, dude, it's good whiskey. Listen to this piece, okay? This is from Brad Jaffe, senior contributor at Forbes, and this is about this whiskey. Now, I'll read it to you, and we'll go just so you don't think I'm lying to you. File this under unexpected. The full results are in from this year's annual New York Wine World Spirits Competition. And of the 14 best-in-class winners, a single bottling was selected by the judges deemed better than all the rest. Out of thousands, James, of total entries, this singular standout was enshrined as best in show across all categories of spirit. For 2022, that bottle is a non-age statement Peruvian whiskey distilled from Andean black corn. What? The guy, you see, he actually says that in the article. He says, what? Even as an ardent enthusiast of world whiskey, I must admit I was unaware that any aged grain spirit was coming out of Peru, let alone award-worthy examples of the stuff. Nevertheless, I do tend to trust the analytical skills of the industry professionals behind the New York Wine and Spirits Competition. And the bestowal of any award can potentially have an effect on the immediate supply of its recipient. Yeah. It's gone. You can't get it. You cannot get it right now. There were a couple of cases in Texas. There are still a couple of bottles that maybe you could call a specs. Maybe you could call around and maybe you could try and find it. But anyway, this article goes on to talk about how incredible this whiskey is and how shocking the world of whiskey makers were after this coming into play this year. It's only 2 years old. It's only been around for 2 years. And it's just now starting to come into the world's market. Nevertheless, I do tend to trust the analytical skills of the industry professionals behind the New York World Spirits Competition. And the bestowal of any award can potentially have an effect on the immediate supply of its recipient. So naturally, I had to score a bottle of Don Michael Black Whiskey. That's what this is right here. While I still could. What does it taste like? Well, I'm glad you asked. And then it goes into all kinds of, we don't have to go into the rest of it. But this dude who is like the booze expert at Forbes, you know, and food and dining and all that stuff, just raving about it. Now, here's the thing. Now, I don't know if I want to do this. because there's probably less than a case of this in America right now. And it just won the big award. It just won the Oscar for Best Picture. And you can only see it at one theater.
In front of our face. Just swig it right out of the bottle in front of our face.
I'm not going to do that.
Do that, man. That would be a boss move.
Yeah. Jeff Glenn. John, lots of people selling it online. You can order it online. You're not going to get it delivered, dude. Trust me when I tell you, I have daily conversations with the importer. But go ahead, try and get one. And if you can get one, get it now. Because as the article says, the price point on this is $50 a bottle, which makes it a premium bottle. It's in with the Gentleman Jacks and stuff like that. The price point is at $50. But because you can't get it, they're saying that these are going to turn up on like eBay and shit like that for like $1,000 a bottle, at least until the next New York Wine and Spirits competition. Because when you have there are collectors who want to collect these as trophies, and they may have a top shelf above their bar of each year's whiskey collectors are weird. I don't know if you know any whiskey collectors, but yeah, if you want to try it, there might be a couple of cases in North Texas or a couple of bottles. And that's only because the North American distributor is now a friend of mine, and he's here, and he literally got a bunch of cases delivered to his garage, and then he went to a bunch of liquor stores and said, try this on yourself. So I'm gonna pour me a little bit of this. Excuse me. I typically don't drink on this show, but it is a nice little sipping whiskey. And I just couldn't be happier to be associated with him. So I don't know, man. A lot of things are going good for the whole mansplaining thing, James. Weird things that I can't talk about, but things that you know about.
Oh, well, that's great. Because that would be so good if I was a part of it. Thanks.
Well, I certainly have a coattail, and you certainly have a ticket to ride. So there you go. We are gonna.
I need a co-host. I'll ask Robert. I need a board op. I'll get AO.
You ain't coming to board op. You wouldn't coming to board op for $15 an hour. That is beneath you. That is not your skill level. That is not what we need.
Oh yeah. All right. Tell me what job I wouldn't take. Yeah, much better being unemployed. Pseudo-employed.
You would lose money driving. Okay. All right. We'll get to this argument, I'm sure, at some point down the road. Hey, what do you say? You want to do a monologue? You got a monologue? You want to do a monologue? How do you feel about a monologue?
I would love to do a monologue, but can I just tease you in advance that when it comes to topic time, I've got two bangers, two just absolute out of this world, ridiculous, retarded, melt your brain bangers. So
all right, I got some stuff too, but if you got bangers take precedent. Ladies and gentlemen, please quiet down.
Monologue's going to suck, though, so get ready for this.
All right, please welcome to the Comedy Nest stage high atop the One Percenter compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. I am your MC, Pugs Moran. Please welcome to the stage a comedian known the world around. He entertains here Monday through Thursdays, 9 p.m., top of the hour, James Philistine Parker.
I like that one. Can I have the floor, please?
Oh, God, the floor. He needs the floor.
My people demand it.
Okay. All right. Get the floor.
Just me. I have fans.
Oh, there you go. There you go, James. All right.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right. So Hurricane Ian expected to become a major hurricane before it hits Florida. Meanwhile, Governor DeSantis is devising a plan to send the storm to Martha's Vineyard.
Look at that. That's what he's doing. That's his thing.
The weak economy is, you know how bad the economy is, Pugs. It's taking its toll on nonprofit organizations. To give you an idea of how bad it is, the Ronald McDonald House is now the Ronald McDonald Trailer.
Oh, my God. Look at that. Ronald McDonald Trailer because they had downsized.
Because the economy's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Taylor Swift has announced that she will not be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, but you know, hey, that's a big loss there because nothing says football. Swift.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're trying to time it out?
I'm trying to time it out, and that time there was no delay. It just fired off of me. You want to try it again? Go ahead, James. Try it again.
Reset. Have you had too much black whiskey already? Is that the problem?
No, I've only had a couple sips.
Taylor Swift announced that she will not be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, and that's a huge loss because nothing says football fan like Taylor Swift.
There you go. Okay,
Hey,
note
that
to
one works
self.
pretty good.
Small laugh works good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Small laugh works good. In a new interview, the Saturday Night Live boss, Lorne Michaels, said he's going to be reinventing the show over the next couple years. He says he wants to transform it now into a comedy show.
He ain't the guy to do it.
According to a new study, people in stressful marriages are more likely to be depressed. The findings are published in this month's issue of Journal of the Painfully Obvious. It's a good journal. Japan now has 86,000 people over 100 years old. Experts say that number would be even higher if it hadn't been for Godzilla. Experts say. Today is National Pancake Day. Did you have a pancake today, Pugs, for National Pancake Day?
No, I don't like
pancakes. But they are more popular than ever. From what I hear, they're selling like hotcakes.
Oh, jeez. All right, go.
I don't get the dad joke for that one.
No, you didn't want my hot take on pancakes. That's fine. We'll move on. Next joke.
Hot take. I didn't know you were throwing it your own.
He's center square. He's the only one able to do jokes. I had a pancake joke. Too late now. Continue.
Happy birthday to Barbara Walters, who's 93 years old today. If you want to send her a present, she could use some private lessons on how to say her R's.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I should have used the. If you want to send her a present, she could use Hooked on Phonics. How about that? They both sucked. I told you it's going to be bad. Happy birthday also to Democrat Beto O'Rourke. He's running for governor in Texas right now. He turns 50. If you want to send him a gift, he wants your guns.
What? Get slightly political? What? Come on, folks. He's working hard.
I sent him mine. And finally, happy birthday to actress Linda Hamilton, who is now 66 years old. She claims that she's been celibate for 15 years. So if you want to send her a gift, she probably needs batteries.
Sex toys.
I'm in for a remote control car, Pugs. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's true. You got past your time doing something, I suppose. And she's a big radio-controlled car enthusiast. James, you promised a couple of bangers. I'm going to hold you to that.
All right, I'm going to do the quick one first, but the other one we're going to have to talk about for a long time. I just saw the producer for the James Show posted this story today, and we had to chat about it. There's a dude in Michigan who was on one of these gay dating apps, and he picks up another dude, and they don't even bother going on a date. He just goes straight over to the guy's house, and they get all hot and heavy, and when things are getting, kind of advanced, he murders him. And then he cuts off his balls, cooks them, and eats them.
Okay.
A couple things right off the bat. As if the gay man in America doesn't have it hard enough. Now he's got to worry about his balls being eaten. That's just something hetero guys don't have to worry about. You've never seen a story where a guy goes on a first date with the girl and she kills him in the middle of sex and then cooks his balls and eat them. Like 0% of the ball eating stories, or I don't even know if there's a cannibalism story, period.
Ball eating stories, but historically the world is just filled with tales of women who just cut dudes' dicks off. So, what do you care? What's worse?
Different than eating them. Different ballpark, different arena. It's psycho, but hey, then explain to me, if it's not different, then why hasn't a woman ever cooked and eaten a pair of balls? They just cut them off.
Well, first of all, how do I debate that? I have no idea if a woman has ever cut. You're just making a statement based on what you assume to be truth. We don't know that no woman has ever done this. So,
well, without knowing the exact number, can we agree that they're a minority within the ball eating community? The ball eater skew male?
Testicular mutilation and cannibalization does seem to be the domain of the weird guy serial killer, right? I mean, I'll give you that. It seems like, but who knows, man? Hey, girls can do anything guys can do.
But they don't. They don't. Look, they could.
let's not get too far downstream. You don't know that they don't. You simply don't have a story handy of a woman doing this.
Okay,
But
so that doesn't mean I'm wrong.
you didn't have a story handy of a guy doing this until this story. So, all right, you know what? Is that something Google might know about? Do we say, has a woman ever eaten a man's testicles?
There was a story about this couple that was in Katrina, and they stayed in New Orleans, and they lived in the French Quarter. So their neighborhood didn't really flood, but all the power and utilities and all of life was just shut down around them. And eventually they went crazy, and he killed her and ate her. And so I'm not saying there's like 0% of the cannibals are women. It has been my experience. My theory isn't wrong when you say that. My theory just has to be modified in. I have never seen a story where a woman has cut up and ate a dude.
All right, here's your headline. Woman eats man's testicles from June 21st, 2007. All right?
Oh my God. You got to go back 15 years? That's the exception that proves the rule is what you found.
No, James, that's just the first result. There are lots of results when I Googled woman eats man's testicles, and there are a lot of woman tries to eat man's penis and testicles. This is from 2010. In what state, James?
Florida.
He knows.
Germany or Florida.
He's Mr. Florida Stories. Okay, there are testicle festivals, and there's a woman who ate the most testicles, but I don't think those were human testicles, I'm guessing. Evil woman makes boyfriend eat his own testicles. James, that's even worse. That is even worse. All right, but continue.
I would love to see the final stats, though. I would love to see the final stats on what percentage of testicle eating is male versus female. Because I have started to catalog this weird genre of crime that I don't want to say only men do, but almost only men do. Like foot fetishes. I don't know one female foot fetish chick. I don't think I've ever seen a story, and you could probably go Google it and maybe find some of these anecdotal exceptions. But for the most part, the foot fetish community has to be like 99% dude based on the news.
So any evidence to the contrary of what you present as fact is anecdotal. That's your thoughts are not anecdotal on it.
My thoughts are definitely anecdotal, but look, I am coming with 45 years of anecdotal evidence that I have not seen one story about a chick with a foot fetish.
Here's what I would say. I don't know. I think fetishes cross all weird lines, there are certainly a lot of female foot fetish enablers.
Find this one in. I'm sorry to interrupt. Find this one since you're on the disproving stupid James theories train here.
Okay.
There has not been one woman that has put a hidden camera in a toilet. That is securely the domain of messed up dudes.
Woman hides camera.
Yeah, toilet
in toilet. All right, let's see. Let's see.
Cam, man, we had a rash of toilet cams in New Orleans when I was on the morning show there, and we ended up writing a song about it.
All right, you might. A woman says secret camera. A lot of women who were filmed. Yeah, I am not just off the top seeing anything here that says a woman has done that. Let me click on the news. All right, you might be safe in that one. I think the filming women while they use the toilet might be a guy thing.
Ah, God, that's so awful. It's so embarrassing to be a guy with these dudes running around, right? God. All right. So my other story is going to take a little more time. We have a couple. Look, it's the classic love story. They meet each other. They date for a few years. Things are going great. So they get married. And look, they even do the cute little thing where she goes and has like some boudoir photos and sends him like all the naked pictures that were professionally taken of himself. And of course he enjoys it. But fast forward about 10, 15 years later, they're not getting along so well and they get a divorce. Well, when he goes to pick up all his stuff, he's like, hey, where's those the nudie pics, the nookie pics that we took back in the day. Now these are old. These are from like, I don't remember the year, but it was like 10 years ago or 2007 or something stupid like that. But she goes, oh, no. I hid those. You can't have them. So he makes that a sticking point. And when he goes to court, he's like, okay, here's what I'm asking for. And on the list was these nookie pictures. And so the judge just ruled that she does, because it wasn't like she just randomly went out and took pictures. It was specifically a gift. I think it was like a birthday present. Forgot the details, but but because it was a gift to him, Then it wasn't community property, it was his property, and she has to turn over the nookie pics. Now, her concern was, listen, when I took the nookie pics and gave them to him, we were happily married, and he had no reason to be vindictive toward me, and I had no reason to believe that he would want to use these to embarrass me. I mean, I could give these to him, and he can show, you know, his friends or my family, or, you know, he can ruin my life with it. I'm giving him ammo to ruin my life. So the judge says, okay, you're making a good case.
I have a question? Is she is also featured in these pictures? It's not just she didn't. So are these pictures of her or pictures of her and him together?
No, just pictures of her. She did
Pictures
a
of her.
boudoir photo shoot.
So here you go. Here's your present. Look at all these sexy pictures of me. She
Yeah.
said, and
Are you
she
not familiar with the boudoir photo shoot? That's where you get a photographer.
I'm just trying to work this out because there's a couple of moving parts. So they were married. She, as a present to him, had some sexy pictures taken. They got divorced. She maintained control of the sexy pictures. The husband, who is now divorcing her, says, hey, I want those sexy pictures of you. And she said, no, we're not together anymore. You might now use this against me in some way. They went to court, and the judge agreed with the man that because they were a gift from her to him, he gets to possess the naked pictures of her that she is now concerned he's going to ruin her life with. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay. Now a lot of these details are important, because if it hadn't been a boudoir shoot, if it hadn't been professional photos taken by a professional photographer with the specific intent of being a gift, if it was just something that they had snapped, he had snapped on his phone, or she had snapped on his phone while they were doing it, then it would be community property, and he wouldn't be able to have exclusive claim to that. Now, there wasn't a court case over these photos. This was just a line item in a much larger case. But the judge does have to go bullet point by bullet point through these and goes, okay, this is community property, so this is split 50-50. This belongs to her, so this is hers. This belongs to him, so this is his. And on one of those not community property things was the photos. But there were some interesting caveats. Is she has to give them back, but the judge was persuaded by her and her lawyer's pleas, like, hey, this dude could ruin my life. So she has to give him tastefully edited pictures back.
Okay. So she must give him the gift back, but it altered to suit her concerns over what he might do with them. So if she's topless, the pictures will now have her breasts obscured in some way, or at least to the approval of the judge, right?
I wish I could know the further details of this, because there's a big difference in just kind of blurring out the nips and putting a big black box over all the good parts, you know? And
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this bizarre ass argument going on between Leslie and Al in the chat room. Apparently Al is maintaining that some women like feet, and Leslie is just, no, they don't, weirdo, trust me. I'm like, okay, I don't know that you could speak for all women. I think there are probably some women out there, but it's just a very bizarre argument that is happening right now. Sorry. All right. So my thoughts on this, I think, not knowing anything about the law, if I was the judge, I'd say that she gets to keep them. I would say, yeah, you know what? Nah, I'm a judge. I'm going to make a ruling. I don't care. Possession is 9/10 of the law. She's in possession of them. She gets to keep them. They're pictures of her. I would agree that he probably has some malicious intent in owning these, even if it's just, so that he can whack off to the memory of her whenever he wants. I don't know what it is. That's kind of gross. Yeah, I disagree with the judge, and now the judge is making it be altered. So you are now changing what the actual gift is. It'd be like, you know what I mean? That's not what. Yeah, I don't agree with this judge. This judge is crazy.
So come up with a simile that would match this, like. She bought him a car for his birthday, but he's not allowed to run her over with it, or something. Like, I don't understand how would you verbalize? Okay, how would you?
No. Here's what it would be. He wants the car, but she thinks he's going to run her over with it. So the judge says you can give him the car, but you have to take the engine out of it. That would be, so that he can't run her over with it, which is stupid. It's like, what's the point? They are no longer nudie pictures if they are somehow being altered. I think they stay in possession. I think they stay in her possession. I think that's the easy way to do it. I think you throw it out. You say it's a stupid case. You dumbos. What are you doing? Wasting the court's time. Let her keep the pictures so that, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put them on. We're gonna be back here in 9 months with her suing you because you put them on like some porn site or something. You know what I mean? Just head this off at the pass. Let the woman who is portrayed compromised in the pictures keep possession of them. Everybody's fine.
Well, I would like to throw out to the guy that if you really wanted the picture so bad, and I can understand why you would, maybe you have a beautiful ex-wife and you're never going to do that good again for the rest of your life. And this is the apex of your sexual life and you'd like to be reminded of that. But dummy, why didn't you make your own damn backups, you idiot? Like if you had some great pictures, you don't have like a magic flash drive, like sort of a go bag that you can just take of all your wife's nudes and run off with them. Just laughing off into the distance. You didn't back them up yourself. You waited till it was time to go collect them after y'all had already split up before you did something about it. That's just sloppy move by the guy there. Like you got to be on top of that. If you want those nudes, you could have had them. You had 15 years to make backups and put it on a Google Drive or flash drive or backup hard drive or somewhere. Burn it on a CD, idiot.
Why is Leslie being so mean to everybody in the chat room today? Is Leslie in a bad mood? She's like yelling at everybody. I'm sorry. I just
where did stop fat shaming black girls come from?
I know. That's what I mean. I'm like, why is she just being mean to everybody? You don't have to shout everyone down. You don't have to, participate if you don't want to. But
it's the other Leslie that flirts with me, isn't it?
Who's the other? We've got a lot of Leslies.
We've got the one with a fake picture for her profile pic.
Let's see. No, we've got multiple Leslies. We've got a couple of them. I don't know which ones. Anything else on that story? I mean, I think Judge screwed up.
Well, there's some takeaway knowledge, wisdom to come out of this. And number one is to make backups. Have your backups. And this is 2022. If you are depending on physical copies of photos, then you don't get any sympathy from me. You're way behind the times. We're way past that. And you screwed yourself, pal. You never scanned them in. You can at least take a picture of the picture with your phone or something. No.
I think I found out why what's going on in the chat room. Okay, here we'll go through it like this. They were talking about whether or not women like to suck feet, right? Okay, and some people are saying in the chat room that women like to suck feet, and
I've met women do. Some of them do. Most of them no. Some of them do. That is a thing.
Okay, so Al said this. I don't know what he was doing. He was talking about. So this is what Al said. He said, I would probably have to agree with you, Leslie. This particular nurse liked feet. She looked like Lizzo. Okay, so that's what he said. I'm picturing, he was descriptive, and I'm now picturing, what the nurse looked like. And I guess Leslie responded with this, which is stop fat shaming black girls. It might have been weird into screwing you. Okay. Did I miss something? All he did was say that she looked like Lizzo. He wasn't fat shaming black girls. Lizzo's a famous person. If you had somebody who looked similar to Lizzo, you might say she looked like Lizzo. I don't see any fat shaming here.
I would like to counter that with it's the opposite of fat shaming. It sounds like he liked her. If she sucked his toes, they probably did other things. Yeah. And so I don't think he's very shameful of that woman's appearance if he's copulating with her.
I mean, that seems like a little bit. Maybe Leslie owes him an apology. Is all I'm saying. Maybe you jumped off. What are you? The thought police now? You know what he meant? Is that the next response?
Yeah, we must have missed something, dude. She said you missed the prior stuff. She ain't talking about Richard.
I don't know. Leslie's being mean today. She's like,
maybe being needs battery.
It's like the hall monitor in there today. All right. I don't know what that's about, but okay. That's all right. That's all right, Leslie. Keep him in line. You're the queen of the chat room. I dubbed you that on day one. You have the right to do it. It's fine. I'm not going to kill any of us. All right. What else, James? You got anything else?
Well, I would just like to have some cultural digging here. Number one, do you have in your possession anywhere somehow nudie pictures of an ex-girlfriend?
Yes.
Right? So
Mhm.
I sent
No, wait a second. No, not like I have an ex-girlfriend who posed nude. So I have those pictures, but not like she sent them to me. You know what I mean? So, but everybody has those pictures. They're not in my personal possession. I can just go and look at them if I wanted to. Just Google her name and put Playboy, and those pictures come up on the Bing
that's
returns.
not the same thing.
Well,
All
no,
right.
you asked if I had. I mean, I thought you were talking about, is there a way for me to reconjure any good memories from when I was younger? And yeah, I have. I have. Trust me. How do you think I discovered
It's
that her
not
pictures were
exactly
still
what I was
online?
asking, but it's very similar. So look, the point is I don't know what the rest of the guys were doing, but when I was rolling through 18, 19, 20, all the way up until I got married, I used to keep some of the pictures that girls would send me, and I wouldn't share them with my friends or anything, but I had an amazing collection of just beautiful low resolution pictures of some of the prettiest girls Dallas had to offer for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And so there's no rule book to tell me this. There's no etiquette class, and
You
there's
mean other
nothing.
than common decency? You mean other than knowing right from wrong and how to
Well,
treat other people?
listen. There was
No,
like
no rule.
I had just gotten married to my wife, and I had almost forgotten about my archives. In fact, I hadn't looked at it in a long time, to be fair. And I came across it one day, and you know what? Like I mean, I've been married for like just a couple months, and I was like, oh man, I still have this. And I threw it away.
Oh, look, good for you. Good for
Isn't
you.
that is that what the rule is? Because I felt like
Yes.
that's what the rule's supposed to be. And look, I'm a dirtbag, so if I think that's the rule, that's probably a pretty safe rule, right? If I'm
Yeah, that's actually, I'm impressed with that. I would think that you would be somebody that would, say that you did that and then not actually do that and keep those pictures and then, just do something real evil with it. But that's not what you did here. I believe that you actually did the right thing because I know how bedazzled you are by your lovely wife.
yeah,
How many,
well, listen,
how
man.
did you get rid of them? Like,
Oh,
did you have a big like bonfire and you stood over like a flaming garbage can and you just one at a time looked at them?
well, look, I used to keep a folder on my desktop of my collection, basically, right? But I was always keeping a backup, and this is how old I am. It was on a burnt DVD.
Mm.
I would have put it on a burnt CD, but it didn't quite fit. No, it was like it was a burnt disc, and so I just took the disc and I cracked it in half and I put it in the trash, and that was that.
You want to address? I don't know what the fuck Leslie's talking about here. She says Pugs was defending Hugh Hefner today, that creepy Chicago pimp. First of all, moron. Second of all, I don't remember defending him today. I remember talking about his birthday and saying some people consider him a First Amendment icon, and talking about how he seemed to have lived a pretty great life, at least to me, as a 15-year-old boy coming up in the 1980s. I would love to know, Leslie, exactly how I defended Hugh Hefner. I mean, I will because I'm actually an admirer of his. But at what point during today's very edited version, I spent about 30 seconds talking about Hugh Hefner. I could have gone on for a full 10 minutes. What exactly was it that I said that defended the creepy Chicago pimp Hugh Hefner? That's
Dude,
what is
what
she
was that?
doing? Why is
What
she being such a bitch to everybody tonight? I was putting up with it when it wasn't about me, but now what the fuck? I mean, my God.
Well, she's hearing every second of your broadcast, so clearly she likes you.
Well, I like her
But
too. We're old friends.
just
We're very old friends, which is why I'm comfortable talking like this.
listen, to some people, Hugh Hefner is not a cool dude. To some people, Hugh Hefner is the guy that's just exploited vulnerable women
Oh,
for the wiles of these skanky, sketchy dudes out there. And he's done
mhm.
nothing but work people up and degrade
Ugh.
the value of women and make men think,
Mhm.
women are just objects. And
I don't know.
look, I get it. You're not into porn.
Marilyn Monroe was a hero of the women's rights movement, right? That's what we're doing all of this revisionist bullshit. Marilyn Monroe, the biggest whore, the biggest crazy scramble brain whore in the history of Hollywood, who literally sucked every dick that was ever put in front of her face. She is somehow now being remade into what's that?
Figuratively. You said literally. She didn't literally suck every
Okay, figured. Okay, no, you know what? No, the stories about her. I mean, she was somebody who, I don't know, Hugh Hefner was a man of his era, and he did an incredible service for First Amendment rights in this country. And if that's not something that you appreciate, that's fine. He didn't force any women into Playboy, and there were a whole bunch of women who had huge careers simply because he created that magazine. So just stop it.
Where would Anna Nicole be right now if not for Hugh Hefner?
Where would Marilyn Monroe be? That's what broke her. The
Probably
Playboy
alive, both of them. They'd probably both still be
probably
alive.
alive.
Yeah.
Probably alive. I mean, but it's just such bullshit. You know, you want to go after somebody, go after the porn industry. Go after that. Don't go after Hugh Hefner because he showed naked women. He's not Larry Flint. You know, he did it tastefully. It was the appreciation of women. And if you're so uptight that you can't handle a nude picture of a woman, I'd say that in the year 2022, you're the one with the issue. You're the one that needs to, right? I mean,
yeah, but Pugs, Leslie may have been someone who's a victim of like sexual assault or rape or was diddled by her drunk.
Doesn't matter. Someone's personal experience, trying to throw this guy down, you're still wrong. I mean,
but it explains why they're having an irrational reaction to Playboy, Pugs, and so don't.
Later, he literally pimped them out and drugged his girls. Prove it. Okay, go ahead. Really? Cite your source, Leslie. That's easy to say. That is so easy to say. Moronic. Seriously, that's a switch that I've seen in the last couple of years. Marilyn Monroe is a female women's rights icon, and Hugh Hefner is now suddenly like the worst guy that ever lived, forgetting about the fact that he was there with contemporaries Bob Guccione and Larry Flint, who were actual drug-pushing pimps. But no, let's make Hugh Hefner the bad guy here.
Well, look, you showed me a lot about Hugh Hefner when you introduced me to his TV show that ran for like a decade that I didn't even know about until like 2 weeks ago.
He was a smooth dude, man.
I didn't even know what he looked like in the 70s. That's not who I know.
He was a hedonist. If you got a problem with a hedonist, he was a sybaritic kind of individual. If you have a problem with that, then that's a you thing, okay? But let him. I don't believe Hugh Hefner was ever accused of rape or murder.
Can you believe this? Look, Leslie's not a Larry Flint fan either.
Larry Flint was a scumbag. Larry Flint was a real scumbag. Hugh Hefner was a sophisticated gentleman. He created the Playboy image of the guy in the suit, you know, with the good grooming, who makes a nice living, who can afford the best stereos and the nicest car and dates the most beautiful women. That was a lifestyle thing. Larry Flint was a pig. Larry Flint was a pig pornographer. There is a huge difference between Hugh Hefner and Larry Flint. That's all.
Well, I always love the First Amendment boundaries always get set by guys like that. Because in my lifetime, because the Larry Flint and Hugh Hefner stuff is way before my time, but in my lifetime, where the arbiter, the boundary of free speech, the guy who set that was Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew. That is my generation's First Amendment hero. And he's not some nice, erudite, learned academic scholar or skilled guy of any sort.
No, he's not the one you would have drafted to be the icon for that movement back in the 90s. Right.
But whether you like it or not, if you're an American living in contemporary times, your free speech, the arbiter of your free speech rights, the guy who set the boundary as it exists right now, is Two Live Crew. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Look, sometimes
they fought the wars. Yeah. No, they were the ones that were persecuted, who had to fight back for their lives and all that. They were ridiculous, though. It is sad that they had to be the ones, because they are ridiculous. You know, Two Live Crew.
The amazing part about Two Live Crew is Two Live Crew, for a while there, they were getting radio play. You understand that? Like, I first heard Me So Horny on 97.1 out of Dallas.
It was a big radio hit. Two Live Crew had a bunch of radio hits, or at least a couple of them back there. What year are we talking? I don't even know what year we're talking about.
And so I was on the football bus in 8th grade, so I must have recorded it the summer between 7th and 8th grade and I remember it was off 97.1 because I could only get like 3 Dallas stations with my antenna over in Bug Tussle.
What came first, Tone Loc or Two Live Crew? Trying to figure out what's the timeline there, because this was
Tone Loc. I think Bust a Move was well before Me So Horny by like 2 years.
Yeah, you think so? Well, wait, Bust a Move wasn't Tone Loc. Wasn't Bust a Move Young MC?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Look at me.
I know.
Look at me. I know I still know
Medina, but
my 1988 frat party playlist. I still know the songs that we were playing.
Yeah,
a little Strange Love, a little Depeche Mode, into a little Two Live Crew. Oh yeah. Okay, now they're accusing Leslie of being drunk. She's not drunk. Leslie's just a pistol.
Like the worst songs that Two Live Crew had never, ever made it to the radio for 5 seconds. They couldn't be on radio for 5 seconds. On the same album as Two Live Crew and I'm sorry for the foul language. I don't think your audience has ever heard me say this. Is a great song called "The Fuck Shop." And if you think Me So Horny is a little off color, just start going through some of the other Two Live Crew discography and let me know how much Me So Horny bothers you after that. And so, yeah. And in fact, it's not on the same album. There was another song on another Two Live Crew album that Brandon had. I forgot what it was called, but there was a song called "Pimple on My Dick." And so I just remember thinking, because I'm in 7th and 8th grade, and nothing's funnier than potty words and talking about booties and stuff when you're a 12-year-old boy. And so that it was one of the things where politicians were griping about, like Tipper Gore or something was griping about Two Live Crew. I'm like, how does she know who Two Live Crew is?
She didn't. Somebody told her that they said naughty words, and she doesn't know who Two Live Crew is. Hey, let me ask you a question though, because this is interesting. Two Live Crew, they were hip hop. They were representing the crossover between the ghetto music, as they would call it, to white suburbia. Two Live Crew was certainly, look at you, talking about in the 8th grade bus. Doesn't get any whiter than you in Tyler, Texas on that bus, and it was crossing.
Yeah, if you're on the football bus in Chapel Hill, it's more than 50% black.
Okay, you're in Tyler, Texas. It's still I'm on the south side of Chicago. If you were to take somebody from Nebraska and go, which one was around more black people, they would probably say me, right? So, yeah. All right. So, I heard it coming out of liquor stores and stuff, walking down the street. But on your bus, what is with the roll? What's the eye roll? That is how I heard street music.
Because you had like 4 black people in your high school. Meanwhile, I'm talking about on the bus in Chapel Hill, on the football bus. So we're going to like Texarkana for a 3-hour bus ride, and we have to listen to the music that is not picked out by the people that went to your school.
White guys, no chance. When the black guys have the boombox, they're playing their music. Every locker room I've ever been in where it was, a diverse group of people, it was always never the white guys that got to pick the music. It's always
No. I had a mixtape that was in rotation, and it had Me So Horny on it. The recording that I did, I live dubbed it off 97.1, The Eagle, KEGL, in Dallas in like 1988 or 89. No, 1990. Well, 1989 because it's 7th grade. I don't know. It was right around there. It was like 1990 maybe. But yeah, I had it. So
let me ask you this. I was making that they were a target because they were a black hip hop group, and white America, especially, the Tipper Gores and the PMRC and all that stuff. There was a racial aspect to it, I felt. And I want to know if around the same time, what if Debbie Gibson had done a song that had like a swear word in it? Would it have been as big of a deal? Would the government have gotten involved? Would there have been? What if in the 90s, if like a teenager, young 20s girl had did a song like that? What if somebody like, I don't know who was around back then? I'm trying to think of like a girl singer-songwriter, right? Like who? Sheryl Crow, like a young Sheryl Crow. Would she have taken the same abuse as Two Live Crew if she had done the song Me So Horny or something like that? What do you think?
Well, I think
targeted because they were black kids playing music the white kids were starting to adopt.
No. You are more right than you even realize, because I remember when they first started putting the Two Live Crew mandated parental
Mhm.
advisory explicit lyrics on, this little scare label on albums. It was funny because I heard stories about people who would go back and add cuss words to a couple of their songs just so they would get the label. They would go have a filler song
Yeah,
that was all
because it made
cussing.
it sell. It made you. Meant you were edgy. All right,
It,
so that was
it
a
meant
bit of
you
a.
were rated R instead of rated PG. But I remember in high school getting albums from rock groups that had curse words in them and they didn't get the label, and thinking the exact same thing you just said right now. What is this, some racial thing? How come these rock bands or these grunge bands can cuss and fuck you, won't do what you tell me, and you don't get the same label? That's
Well,
interesting.
I bring this up. I had a point to my whole thing. I bring this up because there was somebody in 1994, somebody came out with an album, and the album won Album of the Year. Rolling Stone still considers it one of the 100 greatest albums ever written. And it was done by an Ivy League educated 20-something pretty little blonde girl. I want to play it for you. You tell me if Two Live Crew's Me So Horny is more vulgar than this. Okay, wait.
I love this song. Yeah, it's my walk up.
Here you go. From 1994, Exile in Guyville, Liz Phair.
I didn't know where I was at first, just that I woke up in your arms. And almost immediately I felt sorry, 'cause I didn't think this would happen again. No matter what I could do or say, just that I didn't think this would happen again. With or without my best intentions, and whatever happened to a boyfriend, the kind of guy who tries to win you over. And whatever happened to a boyfriend, the kind of guy who makes love 'cause he's in it. And I want a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want all that stupid old shit, like letters and sodas.
Chorus is coming.
Letters and sodas. You got up out of bed. You said you had a lot of work to do, but I heard the rest in your head. And almost immediately I felt sorry, 'cause I didn't think this would happen again. No matter what I could do or say, just that I didn't think this would happen again. With or without my best intentions, and I want a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want all the stupid old shit, like letters and sodas.
It's a nice song about a girl who wants a boyfriend. Sweet.
I can feel it in my bones. I'm gonna spend another year alone. It's fucking run, fucking run. Even when I was 17, fucking run, fucking run. Even when I was 12.
Fucking Run, Liz Phair, award-winning, given every critical acclaim of the era. That was the album of the year. Oh my God, this girl is a genius. She's the female Dylan. She is fucking amazing. But that song, no criticism at all for the message of women having, basically, she's talking about being a promiscuous woman. And why are you judging me? This is, I would like a boyfriend, but I can't find anybody decent. So until then, I'm just going to fucking run. I'm just going to fuck She applauded. She's a genius. Two Live Crew for saying Me So Horny. Oh my God, James, we got to get rid of them. They are terrible. So there is a very obvious distinction being played by the authorities, right?
Yeah, and I love poking at the nuance of this, because this is the flaw of any censorship attempt is, are you going to apply this rule equally? Let's see. And it almost never happens.
No.
So look, you and I both know that there is a difference, though.
I just think it was racial. I think that it was a way to sort of save the white suburban kids from this onslaught of hip hop. And of course, all they did was made more popular among white suburban kids because look at where we are now.
Right. But look, on a deeper, more nuanced level, what Liz Fair is saying, even though she's using similarly foul language, is not even comparable to the ideas that
It's female empowerment. Is that the argument?
Well, no. Look,
she's owning her sexuality.
She is decrying the fact that she is unable to find true love and a soulmate and anything deep, and that's what she wants. Two Live Crew is just reveling in the slop, right? And that doesn't make them wrong, but it does make them different.
I would say that her message is bit more dangerous to young white suburban girls out there than Two Live Crew, echoing what all guys of a certain age are already all about. Every frat guy that was dancing to Me So Horny, that pretty much encompassed them. So, but the message that she's giving to teenage girls who, boy, she was a princess of the teenage girl set back then. I remember how popular she was. She was
Here, I'm the problem. I'm the problem with Two Live Crew versus Liz Fair, because, well, in the contemporary setting, no, but when this was happening, yes, because I was a 20-year-old dude, and me listening to Two Live Crew, I get the idea that women are just objects, and I need to go out there and make a bunch of money and put some big speakers in my Escalade and go pick up some objects and use them like the pieces of trash that they are. But I listen to Liz Fair and I'm like, oh, I'm the piece of trash, and I should treat women better. Oh, okay, I get it.
Okay, so maybe there's a message.
I get it. It's not the same thing, even though she uses bad words.
She was openly discussing the reality of the time, which is that in the 1990s, I was a Gen X kid. Girls were having sex. Guess what? One night stands existed in the 1990s. And there were some girls, in their 20s, just out of college, who had a different guy every weekend. Wasn't talked about, but she talked about it in that song. And instead of it being criticized, it was, isn't she brilliant? I can't wait to see what work she puts out next. And I just always thought, come on. What's the difference?
Yeah, well, she's not treating women like, just convenient wet holes to be used at your convenience. But I also like the fact that when you look back, Liz Fair is not the arbiter of my First Amendment rights, my free speech rights. Luther Campbell is.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, James, good show. Appreciate you being here. You want to promote your Florida stories?
Go watch Florida Story, or go listen to Florida Stories where you're already listening to podcasts. Florida Stories is there. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. I sold my soul to the devil, and he put me everywhere. So go find it.
There you go. All right.
James and the Wet Holes is a good band name, and thank you, Leslie.
James and the Wet Holes. Okay, let's write that down. There he goes. All right, gang. I love y'all. Tip the show if you can. I'm gonna keep pushing this week. We got to get to the finish line, and then we're gonna be off the listener tit as soon as I get a paycheck from my new job. We'll be a self-funded organization, and we're gonna start doing some bigger things once we have some real money coming in here. Thanks to my fine sponsor. Yeah, this is just going to sponsor me for everything now. Black whiskey, the best whiskey in the world. Yeah. Oh, you think I'm lying? Google it. Google best whiskey in the world 2022. Google Forbes magazine whiskey, and you'll see all the stories coming out about this amazing libation. I love whiskey, and I've always been an Irish or a Highland guy, like Scotch single malt without corn, more. But this is a black and I'm liking it. I really like it. And it tastes more like a high-end Scotch than it does Tennessee whiskey or a Kentucky bourbon. That's for sure. You know what I think? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Gentleman Jack. That's the closest thing that I would say it comes to. All right. Oh, God. Tomorrow at noon? Come on. What do you say? We're coming back here tomorrow at noon for high noon. Topic, current events, all of that good stuff. We'll have some big news concerning the mansplaining show. And remember, guys, No matter how much we blow that show up, I'll never forget you. No, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing the high noon show. So don't, I love doing the high noon show too much. Oh, we got more con. I don't think I'll ever stop doing the high noon show. What I can imagine happening with the high noon show is that maybe it just becomes like an hour a day where we go through the day's stories and all that, because that's something I would do anyway. That's something that I would just sit in, my TV room in front of the TV, and I would, look at the news. And if we all still want to keep getting together, yeah. So the new high noon show isn't going anywhere. I also have no plans for this to go anywhere. So there you have it. It's been a year of planning. It's been a year of scheming, and it's all paying off. And you guys got us here, so thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow at noon. High noon tomorrow, right here. Bye, everybody. Love you. I am on a never-ending quest.